The man secretly entered the billionaire's vault, but he found that there was nothing here. There was only a set of leather armor resembling motorcycle gear.
It's a bust.
Helpless, the man had no choice but to go back the way he came. But as soon as he stepped outside, he ran into a group of police officers. Even though Paul tried to explain fervently, it was clear the police wouldn't believe him. Paul was extremely frustrated as he was taken to the police station. He hadn't taken anything, yet he was still locked up in the station. But at that moment, Paul seemed to have noticed something. He saw a group of ants slowly dragging something along, so he took a closer look. It turned out to be the leather armor from the vault. Before Paul could figure out what was going on, the ants began organizing a countdown. It was a hint that the guards were about to arrive. Realizing what was happening, Paul didn't hesitate any longer. He quickly put on his battle gear. In the final few seconds before the guards arrived, he managed to put on his helmet. The guards were shocked to find the cell was empty, but they clearly remembered the prisoner had been there just moments ago. How could he have disappeared? At that moment, Paul was desperately running toward the outside. After passing through the iron gate, he successfully escaped from the police station. But outside, things were not as he had imagined. A group of ants surrounded him completely. Paul was startled, but the ants didn't harm him. Instead, they lined up in perfect order. One of them even had a tiny camera mounted on its back. They seemed more like pets, carefully tended. Then a mosquito suddenly appeared. Under its guidance, Paul climbed onto its back. They seemed to be taking him to find their master. Meanwhile, the police had launched a full-scale search for Paul, but they didn't know that Paul was right inside the police car. At that moment, a motorcycle sped past. The strong gust of wind blew Paul onto a nearby bus. He had to hide in a woman's hair, but the woman immediately swatted him away.
Alright, hold on. Just wait.
Paul was so disoriented by the experience, he became dizzy. He fell off the ant's back and dropped to the ground. When he woke up again, he found himself in an unfamiliar room. In front of him stood a short-haired woman. She saw Paul was safely awake and left on her own. Paul was about to chase after her to ask what was going on, but he noticed the ground was covered with ants. However, they seemed to be quite intelligent. They willingly cleared a path for Paul to walk through. After stepping out of the room, he met the world-renowned scientist, Pim. It turned out that all these ants were his pets. But what exactly did Pim want with him?